The last book about friendship that I'm going to share today is called Stargirl by Jerry Spinelli. I would say that this book is good for grades 3rd to 5th, as it is a chapter book, but it also is an easy read chapter book. I remember in the 3rd grade my teacher read this as a read aloud to our class, but I also noticed that in the back there are literature circle questions that the author provided, which would be perfect for grades 4th and 5th for students to look back and reflect on those. This book teaches that it is okay to have friends that are different than you, but that you should embrace their differences and not try to change them. I would say that this book is a realistic fiction because it takes place in a high school setting, and a lot of the things that happen throughout this book would happen in real life, I would say. This is a great book for learning about how to accept other people for who they are and befriending them anyway. The summary on the back states, Stargirl, she's as magical as the desert sky, as strange as her pet rat, as mysterious as her own name. From the day she arrives at quiet Micah High, in a burst of color and sound, the hallways hum with the murmur of Stargirl, Stargirl. She captures Leo Borlaug's heart with just one smile. She sparks a school spirit revolution with just one cheer. The students of Micah High are enchanted at first. Then they turn on her. Stargirl is suddenly shunned for everything that makes her different, and Leo, panicked and desperate with love, urges her to become the very thing that can destroy her, normal. I would say that this book is good for showing the differences among friendships solely for what we just read. Leo, one of the main characters, falls in love with Stargirl, but he's so insecure with himself and with his self-image that he doesn't want to be friends with her, even though he really likes her, because he's scared of what other people will think. It's a great lesson for students to learn, especially in grades 3rd to 5th, because that's a time when everybody's, you getting older and just starting to change right before that those junior high years, and ultimately many years, but before entering high school. I think this book personally affected me growing up because, like I said, we read it when I was in the 3rd grade, and it really made me see that I wanted to be accepting to others and befriend as many people as I could and not judge them, and I think that's a great lesson for students to learn. There's one passage from the text that I really like. It's kind of long, but it goes, "She laughed when there was no joke. She danced when there was no music. She had no friends, yet she was the friendliest person in school. In her answers in class, she often spoke of seahorses and stars, but she did not know what a football was. She was elusive. She was today. She was tomorrow. She was the faintest scent of cactus flower, the fighting shadow of an elf owl. We did not know what to make of her. In our minds, we tried to pin her to the corkboard like a butterfly, but the pin merely went through, and away she flew." I like this passage because it reflects on the kind of character that Stargirl is, and that she doesn't care what other people think. Throughout the book, she begins to have a crush on Leo as well, and she decides that she would be normal for him, which ultimately backfires because then kids are just as mean, which, in my opinion, is the whole moral of the story. Don't change who you are based on what other people want you to do, because people are going to be rude whether you are who you are or you are who they want you to be, and it's important to always just be yourself. Leo and Stargirl throughout this entire story are different. Stargirl's a free spirit, and Leo is insecure, and he cares about what other people think, and I think that's one of the main reasons why they are able to have a friendship. And like my other book talks that I've been talking about, that it's okay to have friends that are different than you. So I would highly recommend this book for a read aloud, for individual reading, for free reading, for literature circles, anything really. And I would definitely recommend Jerry Spinelli as an author, and this book in general, just to teach students about what it is to find yourself and what it is to be a friend.